Well, we still had on LTV International our today's edition of Breakfast Show, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to discuss about our prominent position in the FDI in Egypt and within the region and the whole world, as Egypt supposed now to be one of the best or prominent FDI destination in the region and the world. Many developments and many procedures have been taken on the ground to invest and to enhance the foreign direct investments and to provide incentives for even Egyptians and foreign investors. We're going to discuss about this. Of course, we're talking about infrastructure, we're talking about fuel, we're talking about legislative procedures as well, and many other points. With our prominent guest today, who's our studio guest, Dr. Sherif Shawki, Regional Tax Leader. Very good morning to you, Dr. Sherif, and many thanks for joining us here in our studio.
Thank you for you, and thank you for the Nile TV for hosting me today.
Well, many developments have been implemented on the ground in the last 10 years, in particular concerning enhancing the investment in general, not only the FDI or the foreign direct investment. We're talking about many investment incentives have been provided to investors. We're talking about infrastructure have been developed. We're talking about fuel, energy, tax rates, exemptions, and many facilities. So first of all, let's I wanted to know your take concerning the investment climate first, and then we're talking detail about such.
Yeah, that's as you said it properly. Egypt is witnessing now a very good development in terms of the encouragement for the foreign direct investments. There is lots of progress and development on many sectors, starting from the legislative environment, the procedures and the processes of the government as well, and the proactive new law and legislations that has been issued recently in Egypt. We are getting to be more competitive within the neighborhood of the countries around us.
Egypt this we're going to discuss a little bit in detail.
But of course Egypt is getting on a very fast pace. The developing of the economic and the indicators actually are all very positive. If you look at our GDP for FY25, we have reached almost 4.4%, which has never been achieved over decades, and that's a very good pace in terms of the progress of the economy. Our unemployment rate as well has decreased by almost 5.4%.
The remittance of the ex-Egyptian expatriates abroad.
That has helped a lot during this last
reserve also approached to $49.5 billion.
Yeah,
for the first time actually.
Yeah, that reflects the trust on the economy and reflects the attraction for the saving of the expatriates working outside of Egypt to remit their savings and their monies to the Egyptian economy, of course. So lots of very positive indicators, lots of progress on the GDP. The inflation rate as well has decreased by almost 19%, which is a very huge decline on the inflation as compared to FY23. So 2 years back we were having a very high rising inflation rate. Now things are getting more stabilized, and all the indicators are really very competitive and very promising.
So pretty good news that we are really achieving great progress on the ground and great development concerning the FDI and the rates we are achieving nowadays. This is a real crystal clear fact. Let's go through it. I mean, concerning the details of the FDI or the investment in general. According to your specialty, when we talk about taxes first, it's one of the main competitive points to other countries. What's your take in here concerning the facilities provided to the investors concerning the tax rates and exemptions for the first years, especially for the manufacturers?
Yeah, well, in terms of the tax reforms, there is a wide and vast, sort of regulatory changes that has taken place recently. I guess most of the business community has been witnessing these facilities, the tax facilitation program that the government has really introduced during this last year through different legislations. They have issued new laws to facilitate the process for the taxpayers and to encourage them, to have like a much more a competitive, sort of age when it comes to the tax burden. The main objective is really to facilitate the process, to waive the penalties. Sometimes it has been backlogging for many of the entities and many of the corporates.
The exit of the investors as well, it have been also all included in the reforms as well.
And that has also, that has been taken as part of the process.
One of the contested points actually for the investors and especially foreign investors.
That is still, to be honest with you, it is still taking time. The exit of the investment or the closure of investment, it takes a lot of procedures to close an office or even a representative office or a company.
Is it special here, Dr. Sherif, or even in other countries is still having such difficulty? I don't think.
No, it's a bit. This is one of the areas whereas we need to have a bit of a focus for it on Egypt, because of still we are still of the mindset that we have to ensure that everything is settled properly. You have to go to the social insurance authority, you have to go to the custom authority, you have to go to the tax authority, you have to go to settlement department to ensure that all your files are really closed.
I know your papers are really
the paperwork is still
the
paperwork still is still, that is one of the areas that needs a bit of attention. However, getting back to your question about the tax reforms in specific, there has been lots of development on the tax legislation platform, even on the way of assessing companies and on the way of dealing with the corporates in terms of the digital, dealing with them rather than the paperworking of inspection. The waiver for penalties for many years, and even we have what we call the debates and usually the disputes that used to take a lot of time between tax authority, Ministry of Finance and corporates and foreign investors. Now there is like kind of committees that are meant to develop and to fasten the process and to execute things in a faster pace. And there has been really, also new legislations as well for the small and medium enterprises as well, with a new law that helps those the micro and small and medium enterprises to facilitate their tax processes and their tax assessment, and to have like a different rates that varies between 0.5% to 1.5% depending on your turnover and your capital. And that is like taking the process of helping those sector or that sector of investment into a faster pace as well. So from tax legislation, there has been lots of development in this area, to be honest.
Yeah, let's just get one point you've mentioned right away, Dr. Sherif, concerning the disputes and such things with the investors. And let's go to the form or the formation of the Supreme Council for Investment, chaired by His Excellency President El-Sisi himself. So to ease the work with the prominent or the most of the important investors, what do you think about your view about such council and how it helps?
Yeah, so now we have GAFI, the General Authority for Investment as well, and that is headed even by His Excellency the Prime Minister as well, and with President Sisi as well supporting these councils. That helps a lot for the investors. We have an investment law that is existing, and perhaps you are aware as well about many of the new development on the legislation platforms and the environment as well. New economic zone.
Especially for the Suez Canal economic zone, of course.
Exactly.
It has a special investment law for itself.
Yes. So the special economic zones that is like now, and it is really very, very smart in terms of developing.
Flourishing, actually.
Exactly.
We're witnessing now the complete industrial zones for Russian one, Chinese one, Indian one. Many prominent manufacturing. They are even starting over there.
Yeah, I would say it's a win-win position. you develop new urban areas, and you get it into facilities, and you get the expansion, and you create job opportunities as well on attracting the foreign investors to come to those areas and to develop it. So it all helps the economy overall. So you can see new economic zones in the Suez Canal. You can see the Golden Triangle in the Upper Egypt. You can see on the north coast as well, the Gergub zone as well now in the north coast. Then the new nuclear power plant as well. So there is lots of development really that are taking place.
And the green industries also are taking place now. The green hydrogen.
Exactly, and the green hydrogen with a special law for it, with more of incentives and tax incentives and refunds. So really, when it comes, to the sectors and the industrial, sectors, I guess there is lots of incentives that many of the foreign investors can find in Egypt if they target, those new laws and new legislations, and if they are opting to operate in those new areas that facilitate for them in terms of custom duties, in terms of the free trades, the proximity as well with the Suez Canal and with the areas, where the consumers are. So it helps a lot, and the incentives it varies big time. So you can find lots of incentives, in terms of, you can get up to 30 to 50%, a tax refund or a credit if you are operating through this the umbrella of the investment law. On the economic zone, it is treated like, this is apart from the free zone, of course, because those economic zone, you don't have any value-added tax, I would say. It is considered as part of, as if it is like an offshore area. You have special regimes for the custom, you have special regimes for the trading, and it gets treated, separately. So and also the golden visa and all these processes, it helps a lot with the foreign direct investment.
Well, we're still talking about the incentives provided in facilities to the investors, and concerning the investment map, which is supposed to be a new issue, which is really remarkable in such issue when we talk about investment in general, how it really facilitates such potential sectors for all investors. They really do not know in which sectors it's supposed to invest in here.
Yeah, that's a good question, because if you look at the the environment or the economic environment now in Egypt, you'll find that we have many of the Chinese companies coming in the infrastructure and the construction sector. You'll find many of the Turkish companies coming for the textile and for this.
And this is really amazing. Lately, they started to establish a very big manufacturing for garments.
Yeah, can you imagine? We have almost like
in Turkey, of course, they are a big competitor in such fields. Yes,
we have almost like a $3 billion worth of investment by the Turkish sectors in Egypt, by the way, and we have more than 1,700 Turkish companies operating in Egypt, by the way. So you can find different, so Chinese are coming to Egypt now big time for those infrastructures. The Turkish are coming for the textile and the other sectors. And you have also the technology hubs and the service hubs, which become very prominent in Egypt. You can see lots of Korean companies when it comes to the electronics. They have heavy industrial facilities in the Upper Egypt. And believe it or not, sometime, I go, for example, to Dubai or to Kuwait to a showroom, and you can find a TV, you find it, on the back of it, made in Egypt. So that's really encouraging because of, the different incentives that the government has facilitated for those foreign investors. And also it's not only, about so you can find now, because of the the currency, when we have a devaluation in the currency, the Egyptian, market becomes more attractive and easier to penetrate. So that has encouraged lots of the American companies to come and investing in Egypt as well. Plus, many of the sectors. So we were in the past, we were looking for India, for example, for the technology hubs, and we are seeing lots of a big shifting, towards that, because of the manpower and the labor law, the lower cost of the labor law, the labor cost in Egypt. You can find as well the development in terms of the education of people. So that helped the youth as well to help in terms of technology and exporting of services and technology. technology hubs, and we are witnessing that. So we are seeing lots of companies in this last 2 to 3 years. We're seeing lots of multinational companies who are opening for specific hubs, technology hubs, service hubs in Egypt, with lots of people working on it, just exporting services and technology to Europe and to the States.
We're making also a great breakthrough concerning the technology and technological industries, I mean universities, schools nowadays, and the vocational technological schools as well. Well, let's talk about our opportunities. We've been talking about opportunities, but we've got to be a little bit straightforward concerning our challenges as well, to make a sort of SWOT analysis. So when we talk about competition in the region, it's a real, very wild and hard, tough competition for other between us and other countries. We still have, like, I mean, the main point that we have as a weak point now is still the bureaucracy. Although we've been gone through the one-stop shop and many facilities and new procedures, but we still have lack many things in here. I mean, the personnel, the process itself. What's your take on this?
Well, you know, when it is gradual, and I guess, you know, now with the technology will be the key factor to the change for that. The intervention of human beings, usually it is, you know, it differs, you know, from the background, from the culture, from the operational side, from the processes. And as you can see now, the world is changing, and we have artificial intelligence everywhere, and we are getting into a digital transformation era.
You believe they're going to, Syria and the AI are going to replace them in the...
that should be the case.
The
so and that is happening, by the way. So we are seeing now, you know, electronic invoices, and the e-receipts has been introduced as well, and to get everything in the same economy. But yeah, to your point, still, to be honest with you, the culture and the background and the behavior of people, it influence the matrix of investment and the ranking of how to do the business usually. So you can have a golden visa and you have a very good platform of regulatory platforms and legislations. However, when it gets into the details and the practice of implementing this, sometimes that differs. It will take time. You cannot, you know, change everything at once. Of course, there are legacies of, you know, operational processes that has to change. It is about I would say, the management, and it is about the monitoring, and it is about the introduction of new technology in terms of facilitating and helping these processes to be helped out.
Yeah, let's talk about other critical point concerning the informal micro economics. When we talk about very small enterprises or small businesses, and to how we've been, like, the president and the government, they are working hard to try to integrate them into the formal or the official economy, because really we're wasting great figures concerning this. So do you believe that the incentives have been provided to such leaders of such business are really sufficient for the time being, or we still have to work on this a little bit to encourage them to integrate into the official and informal economy?
Yeah, so that is actually linked to your previous question as well, because you know, the informal economy, that's a priority for the government. It is a priority on the government agenda right now. We have seen lots of development in terms of, you know, the link, you know, between companies and the Ministry of Finance in terms of the reporting and the disclosures and the reporting, and even on the tax declarations and the link as well with the custom authority. To be honest with you, the government are really putting lots of effort towards that. And you know, when you combine all of this together, that will help a lot to have like a one formal economy. And that will definitely make the change for a country like Egypt. We used to have the paperwork, we used to have like kind of lots of bureaucracy, we used to have the technology element was not integrated pretty much. And right now we are getting step by step. So the in terms of the legislations that has already launched, not in the full capacity. We are seeing as well a kind
They are
of
sharing with great share for the GDP, by the way, and great
that's because of
countries
that.
like the United States and the European economy.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is a
Like
very
80 or 90% of the GDP of such
exactly.
countries.
So when you talk even to the Minister of Finance, or when you talk to them, to the different ministers, the priority now of having a one formal economy for investors and for corporates, that will help a lot in terms of the indicators and the economic progress and development. And it doesn't only have to deal with, because there is a big difference between the digital transformation and the reform overall by the technology. So we really need to make sure that everything is pretty much integrated. Getting back to your point about, you know, the incentives that are given to the small and medium enterprises and how to help, it is, in terms of the legislation, it is pretty much encouraging. I wouldn't say that it's not sufficient. It is pretty much encouraging. However,
We still have more, I think.
yeah, still there is lots of insights, there is lots of initiatives that could be taken, and as well to be helped by the government in terms of the implementation of process, in terms of, you know, how the trust will be created between the investors and the government. So that really
the tax is one of the issues that makes them really hesitate to get in and to be integrated. Yes, this is one of the main core issues.
Exactly.
If you believe.
So right now, right now, you know, it is one of the very competitive ages for countries. The tax incentives are really available. You know, Egypt has been known. So let's admit that one of the main source for the treasury and the government is the tax collection in Egypt. And in order to make it easier for companies and corporates to cope with that, it's a challenge. You can see around the world now, all the countries now, they are applying and implementing what we call the Pillar 2, about the minimum tax rate of 15%. So in the past, companies used to have like a BVI or tax holiday jurisdiction or tax heaven. Right now, that is you know, vanishing. It's even those international legislations by OECD and by those international organizations are really against you know, that in big time. So it is getting to put Egypt as well on the map, because if you have you know, tax system and a good tax regime with a good legislation as a backbone for that, and it helps as well in terms of the operational and the technologies that helps into the process and the procedures of complying and reporting. So if you just connect those together, I guess we will be totally in a different phase.
Let's talk about the ambitious plan which Egypt is now adopting for the encouraging also the export and the exporters within the national strategy for increasing the export rate from $115 billion to $145 billion till 2030. So within such ambitious strategy, the incentives also and the facilities have been provided to the exporters. Do you believe that they are, for the time being, a good start, or what we need more in such?
So again, as we spoke,
for the exporters.
So the export, you get lots of incentives as well, because definitely when you're exporting, that helps in terms of the availability of foreign currency. It helps on the stability of the economy. It helps as well of the attraction to the investors to the country as well, and the floods of you know, investment toward the economy. So yeah, that really helps a lot. The exportation, there is many incentives that the government are really endorsing and helping, you know, the corporates and business. You get export subsidies and you get refunds on export. You got tax refunds as well on especially on the value-added tax as well, when you have like a lot of exportation, and you get lots when it comes even to the customs as well. You get like lots of facilities.
They got a tax refund after 3 years. years or something like?
It
Or
shouldn't be 3
I
years.
don't-
It should be on timely manner.
On
And
time.
this is part. This
Yes.
is the time lag is also one of the element that helps, you know, the foreign investors to get to gain the trust and getting this refund. So if you're doing the production with the right quality and you're competing on the foreign markets outside of Egypt and you're exporting outside,
It's really tough.
That's not an easy
Yeah.
task, because you have lots of competition now around the world, lots of you know, scrutiny around the quality as well of the products. However, we are seeing this is getting much more progressing, and it is progressing into the right direction. And again, the legislations are there. Yeah, it is about, you know, how to ensure that the implementation and the practice of doing that is helping toward these legislations to be tailored as well to the right direction. So the time lag for the refund, for example.
I always say yes. I do agree with you fully, Dr. Sherif. As well, we have the legislation, we have the environment, we have the everything on the ground, but the implementation, I mean, at the end, it's the management, how to manage the whole process to your good.
Right.
Last point concerning the exporters and the new challenge for the exporters concerning the carbon tariff or carbon taxes to the European countries. What's your take on this?
Well, it is
it's a new challenge for them.
It is a new challenge.
Will that encourage them more, or will they step back? What do you think about this?
That becomes like kind of, I would say it's
a new burden.
It's a fact. It's mandatory now. So you know, if you're looking at the commodities or the product that are exported or imported towards Europe, they have a new reforms as well from their end. So if there is like kind of percentage of the carbon emission in those products, it has to be labeled on your products, and depending on the percentages of that, you get the tariffs accordingly. So with the high carbons as well, you pay lots of customs and you pay lots of taxes when you are importing into Europe. So it is getting towards now the sustainability and the green technology as well, and on getting those products, you know, with the right shape and form in terms of the quality, in terms of the percentage of the carbon and the plastic and the emissions of you know, those industrial elements. So I guess that is also one of the elements that the corporates are considering. So you cannot you know, have your own markets without, you know, competing into this European markets, and you cannot export your product unless you have the right percentages and you have the right recipe for your product with the right quality that competes in those markets, of course.
Yeah, would like finally to ask you about your out of your experience, Dr. Sherif, and being in the field, so expertise, 1, 2, 3, 4, what we are still in need of to do to penetrate the market, the whole region more in the I mean, investment or exporting or deeping or localizing the industry.
I've been through my career, I've been helping lots of corporates and multinational companies who are getting and doing business and establishing operations into Egypt. I would say the priority now is the focus on the digital reform and the complete digital transformation. I would say as well that it is pretty much encouraging, you know, to help as a government to facilitate the process in terms of the implementation of the procedures for the corporates and the business, to help them to navigate, you know, into the market in the easiest manner. The efficiency and the effectiveness, I would say, in terms of
very important.
Exactly.
Critical
So I would say the efficiency in terms of, you know, helping the companies and the corporates to finalize, you know, their procedures, the golden visas, the reforms are there, the legislations are there. I would say the priority now is the formal economy for the government, the digital integration and the digital reforms, as well as the practicality and the creation of trust with the practical implementation rather than just, you know, giving reforms only on paper.
With the management and implementation,
exactly.
of course.
Monitoring.
Believe
and
it's, yeah, it's
exactly.
number one, I think.
Yeah.
My point of view is management,
Exactly.
yes. Many thanks for your insight and your views, Dr. Sherif Shawki, regional tax leader. Many thanks for being with us and being our guest today.
Thank you very much, and really pleasure to be with you, and yeah, very delighted with your question as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very
so
much.
Have a nice
Thank
day.
you. Thank
Well,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, short break and we'll be right back.